I honestly had no intention of recording today, but screw it. I'm bored, and there's a new Incantation record, so let's get right to it. Good morning, metalheads of the internet, and welcome to a new episode of the Metal Meltdown. Today, we are looking at Sect of Vile Divinities, the 11th studio album from Incantation. This American death metal crew may not be as prolific as the likes of Death and Cannibal Corpse, but they have remained a very influential and consistent force within the realms of underground death metal, maintaining a strong cult following over the years and notably influencing a wide variety of bands such as Dead Congregation, Grave Miasma, and Portal. In some circles, they're seen as leading figures of the New York death metal sound, alongside the likes of Immolation and Suffocation, and in other scenes, weirdly enough, they're seen as pioneers of the American death doom sound, thanks to their use of elongated, metallic, brooding passages and down-tuned guitars, not too dissimilar from that of a band like Autopsy, even if Incantation does lean a lot closer to the more traditional old-school death metal sound in presentation and aesthetic. Long story short, Incantation is a death metal institution, and for these reasons, anyone who's even casually familiar with Incantation should know what to expect from the band by this point. Dirty, grainy chainsaw guitars and bass, old-school death metal percussion, pummeling, in-your-face, abrasive, hostile vocals, and a consistent dedication to all things slimy and brutal. It's evident from opening track Ritual Impurity, which opens the album on a very brash and provocative note, almost hearkening to the days of vintage Cannibal Corpse in its very simplistic, brutal pummeling. It's evident in the fast-paced, swirling, cuddled grooves of Chants of Formless Dread, which has an almost grind-like spice and energy embedded underneath it, kind of reminding me of late 80s Napalm Death with a more blatant, brutal death metal punch to it. And it's evident especially on Entrails of the Hag Queen, which I would happily call the grossest number on the record. Not just because of the churning, acidic death doom, but because of the lyrics and vocals from sole original member John McEntee. Writing here, womb stripped of innocence to her mighty reverence, no anguish, just penance, a demand of exquisite vengeance, tremulous graves, viscera drifts, throngs first for unknown gifts, disciplined siren's will is prime. All delivered with an appropriate level of ooze and disgust, to the point where I would not be shocked to find out that John regularly washes out his mouth with sewer water. I will admit that close to its end, Sect of Vile Divinities does lose a little bit of steam, not because Incantation start phoning it in or start shelling out lesser material, simply because the formulas and patterns become so predictable, so repetitive that the album just inherently doesn't hit as hard anymore. But even up to this point, there is still some seriously satisfying material. Unborn Ambrosia in particular stands out as maybe one of my favorite cuts on the record. It is noisy, it is anxious, it is eerie, it is brooding, and it does a really great job of keeping you on your toes, as it seems to switch from slower, sludgier passages to more violent and extreme passages with a simple snap of the finger. I like the sound mix on this a lot as well. The guitars and the bass sound as if they have been stewing in their own bodily fluids, and even so remain quite sharp and poignant in the final mix. Although I will say the bass drum feels weirdly removed from the sound mix. It's not a massive issue, but a light kick in the ass would definitely make an impact in the future. I feel comfortable giving this album a 3.5 out of 5. It's not going to win awards for originality, it's not going to change the landscape of death metal, and it's probably not going to be an album of the year unless you are really into just really brutal, sick shit. But honestly, that's fine because I don't think Incantation care. I think they are perfectly happy and comfortable living in their own slimy death metal universe. They know what they want, they know what their fans want, and everyone seems happy. And so long as that happiness is maintained, Incantation doesn't need to travel down the same ambitious, progressive, and socially poignant roads that death metal is going down. Incantation is Incantation, for better or for worse, although I would certainly argue for the better. With this in mind, I see no reason why a longtime Incantation fan would not enjoy the crap out of this record. I see no reason as to why a longtime death metal fan would not enjoy the crap out of this record. But that logic also works the other way around. If you've listened to the promo singles and your reaction was, great, another generic cookie cutter fucking death metal record, that's exactly what you're gonna get. Don't bother listening to this, you are wasting your time. Incantation is proud to be Incantation, and by the looks of things, they're not going around for a while, and I'm fine with that for the time being, so long as the quality is maintained. 3.5 out of 5, another incredibly solid record from Incantation. And that is it for the Metal Meltdown. I'm not an expert, nor do I claim to be, so what do you think? Do you like this record? Do you not like this record? And what do you want to hear from me next? And thank you for watching. Make sure you press subscribe so you get updates on the Metal Meltdown fucking immediately. And you have yourself a fantastic fucking day.